Impact Wrestling by the balls.
The Fresh Prince of Midair, Trey Miguel.
Too sick for this world, Zachary Wentz.
And the Cardiac Kid, Desmond Xavier. And we are
the Rascalz.
And you are listening to Total
Non-Stop
Impact
Podcast, baby.
Woo!
Welcome back, everybody, to Total Non-Stop Impact Talk for Impact fans. This is Trent, along with my co-host for the day, none other than Mr. J-Bone, Professor J-Bone himself. J-Bone, what's going on, sir?
Oh, man, happy to be here. You put the call in, and my secretary has been trying to flag me down all day, and we got it going. We are here.
She said you were very busy lately. You're a busy man to get a hold of. I mean, Professor J-Bone is a tough guy to pin down. I said, look, I'm desperate. Kyle is not here. Kyle is a busy man. He's actually working hard, hardly working. You know, I said, I need a hero. Who can I look towards? I need a savior. Who is the one man that the Impact Loungers can count on and they want to hear in the absence of Kyle, or even when Kyle's here? Who's the one guy that has the love and credibility that to be welcome to the lounge? And I said, there's no question about it. It is only one man. There's only one man who can fill those shoes. And that man wears a bathrobe when he does these podcasts. And he has his pipe. Is your pipe on? Is your pipe going?
It's resting, but I grabbed my slippers.
All right. And a glass of Chardonnay to top it all off. The professor himself, J-Bone. Welcome back to Total Nonstop Impact, sir.
Jaybone. J-Bone.
That's him. With the hams in his hand. He's gonna help me out here, and he's back. I think J-Bone, I'm really getting used to you being on the lounge here, sir. This is I know you got your own channel. Why don't you go throw a quick plug in there for your channel real quick and your podcast?
Well, all you got to do, folks, and just look up Smash This Podcast. I officially renamed the YouTube channel. It used to be called J-Bone, as I am J-Bone, but I was like, okay, well, that's only going to get me so far. And I put Smash This Podcast on everything I put out there. So just look up Smash This Podcast. I'm also on Twitter at JBone5150 and Smash This Podcast as well. Facebook, and I just recently made, and what the hell is that? Instagram. So yeah, J-Bone is trying to branch out for all the kiddos out there.
There you go, J-Bone. Branding.
Oh, it's all about branding, and I'm horrible at it, but I'm trying.
Well, I'm glad you joined us. I'm glad you're here with us, and definitely, guys, check him out. I mean, he has J-Bone's an interesting character. He's got a lot of perspective from a lot of different angles because he watches a lot of different stuff, and he does Smash This Podcast, and he's got his approach to Impact reviews there. But then we bring him into the lounge where he can put on his robe and his slippers and his Chardonnay, get the pipe burning, and he could approach it from a different level, from the way I anchor things out, and I go to him for that deep dive analysis. So, J-Bone, take a load off, relax.
We go deep.
We go deep. Take it TID, man. We take it deep on this show, all the way down. But we're here, guys, to talk about the April 12th edition of Impact Wrestling from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, at St. Clair College. J-Bone, I was in attendance for these tapings. I'm at this episode too.
Yeah, man. I have been very curious to hear your inside, not necessarily scoop, but you were there, so you're gonna notice things and maybe feels different the way it comes off on TV. So yeah, I've been very curious to hear your opinion on these few episodes they did up in Windsor.
I will say this: the matches were great, and I watching them on TV. I remember the match quality being great. And I was like, oh, yeah, I do remember that was a nice, long, good match. Because one thing I'm going to bring up is every match on this episode had a lot of time. I don't know if you caught that. It wasn't. None of them were like nothing was under 10 minutes. It seemed everything got a lot of time. I remember that.
It was, and especially what I was interested in was the debut of the North.
Yes.
And usually when you have a debut tag team and they bring in, we'll just say local talent, because I'm assuming that's what it was, from around the Windsor, Ontario area. There's a lot of little, wrestling things going on, a lot of little companies that spread out all over the place. I did not recognize these guys. So I was like, okay, well, this, these kids are fresh, they're young, whatever. Great to see Impact using local talent like this. That's fine. But as much as I was hyping myself up for this debut, as good as I've heard the North is, or what else were they called?
They used to be called the Monster Mafia.
The Monster Mafia. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was expecting this to be a squash match. I was prepping myself for that. And when they made it a decent, they put some decent time into it, and let the lesser unknown guys get some good offense in. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, wow, hats off to Impact for letting them do that, because it just made the North look better. If it's over in 3 seconds, it's like, okay, well, what else you got?
I agree. Squashes don't mean what they used to when we were kids. I think I want to see them be competitive. That's the whole point. I don't want to just see them go clothesline, finishing move. Like, let me see them compete a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's a great point you brought up, and we're going to get into it when we mention that match. Yeah. But it's a great point. They really got time to showcase both teams. And I'm like, it gave the win credibility, because it's like, oh, you beat some guys who actually held their own. That's the point.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was the same thing for Moose and Wentz. So we're going to jump into all that in a second. But from just a quick live perspective, I was a guest of some of the rosters. So I didn't take any nice premium seats. I sat in the me and my buddy Rob Malinowski does a lot of the videos for AEW. He's a filmmaker. He's making some really awesome stuff for AEW Pro in Chicago. Take a look at that guy. Oh yeah, these are movies. These are not just vignettes. These are movies, and some feature Impact talent as well. So that's the tie-in here.
Are you talking about the stuff that goes up on their YouTube channel?
Yes.
Okay, I've seen it, especially like the Sammy promos and stuff like that. Priceless.
Take a look at there's a playlist on AEW Pro's YouTube channel, and there's one on Jake something, who's Jake Diener now on Impact. There's one on him. There's one on Kurt Stallion, who's one of the newcomers. There's a one going to be going up for DJZ, former Impact X Division and Tag Champion. DJ just had his final independent loop, so DJZ is going to be featured in the next movie. Mance Warner's. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up there. Take a look at Rob's work. These are awesome, and we're planning something for Josh Alexander, because he got announced to come back to AEW now. So
and that's really good for someone like me who's heard of Jake something, aka Jake Diener, who's debuting in Impact. And I've heard of him in the social medias and stuff, but that's a great way to be like, hey, here's where you can learn about this guy. That's tremendous, because I talk about stuff like that on my channel all the time, and be like, hey, here's someone new that I've known about for a while. Go look him up over here. That's tremendous. So thank you for that.
Yeah, take a look. I mean, we have a storyline, which I would have loved if this could have ever come to Impact, but there's a faction called Wrestling, but it's wrestling without the E. So it's and their whole thing is we're wrestling with, we don't need the E, reference to WWE.
Nice.
And led by David Starr.
I was going to say that's David Starr, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Led by David Starr. So there's been a whole huge storyline. Jake and Kurt have joined him and Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston, former Impact talent as well. It's a great tie-in. So Jake, if you want to know a little more about Jake Diener, he's, like I said, he's Jake something, and he's take a look what we've done with him. It'll give you an idea what the guy is capable of. So, and Rob's movie is it's called Jake something, Watch the Throne, and because he's kind of the enforcer of wrestling. So take a look. It's a great way to learn about this guy before he hits Impact TV. Characters are completely different. You know, he's playing a very more of a comedic character in Impact, but it'll give you an idea who the guy is. So you're going in with a little knowledge. So yeah, man. Good. Yeah, take a look. So let's break this episode down. We're not gonna overanalyze. We're gonna do more discussion, like you and I both, J-Bone. We're talkers, so I think discussion's good.
Yeah.
So we opened up here, J-Bone, with Moose and taking on Wentz. So this is continuing Moose's feud against the Rascalz. You know, he's been basically plowing through them, and beat Trey. Now it's Wentz. This was a great match. This was a long match. Am I crazy? Or this was like, I was like, man, they really are giving enough time to both guys to sell for each other, put each other over, and get themselves over.
Yeah, I think a good percentage. A good percent. This is only one beer in, folks. Hang on.
And it's the Hams.
It's you're right. God, I'm just fucking old. A good percentage of it was Moose ragdolling Wentz around, but Wentz got some decent offense in. But my favorite part, and this is hilarious, because these guys are knuckleheads, but they're so damn talented at the same time, is whenever he would, throw him into the turnbuckle or put a knee in the turnbuckle or whatever, and Wentz turns around and he's just dying. Face in the camera, just dying, mouth wide open.
Yeah, one of my notes here was he sells really well. I was like,
God.
Dude, I thought he was getting killed in there. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, the way he was selling for Moose was priceless. He was just
oh yeah, he was really, really selling for Moose. I was like, oh man, this guy. But no, he did a great job, man. I loved that. Moose is a great heel, and I love that spot he does where he pretends he's gonna throw the guy into the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Classic. I popped in me and Rob, who was next to me, we popped in the audience when he did that. I mean, that was such a good move.
Oh yeah, because he's like, trying to part the seas. Look out, here he comes. Nope.
It was great. I loved it. But Moose got the win with a spear, and he took what's up. Moose is, it's Trey down and Zach down, so that leaves Desmond, who was the kind of the official leader of the Rascalz.
So that's going to be next week, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. I mean, so I was thinking, my prediction was, I thought maybe they'll do something at Rebellion where they just make it Moose versus all three of them or something like that. I don't know, but
had they waited like a month to do this, they could have done something and worked RVD into the whole clubhouse thing and had RVD like rescue them from Moose. But whatever.
I actually saw Dez this past weekend at AEW, and I asked him. I said, "All right, Dez, you don't have to let me in on everything, but tell me I'm not crazy that RVD in the clubhouse, man. Come on, like that. You guys, tell me you guys are at least thinking about this." He's like, "Dude, it writes itself, right?" I'm like, "Absolutely, it writes itself. Don't tell me that this is not even on the agenda." He goes, "Nothing's been mentioned, but believe me, the three of us have talked." I said, "Okay, that's all I need to know is that I'm not crazy for thinking that this is a layup." So we had a good laugh about it.
God, yeah. So yeah, at least you guys are on the same page on that. So
totally.
Hey, all we can do is hope, because I know I'm thinking it too.
I love Dez, man. What a one of the most genuine dudes you'll ever meet. Anybody listening to this guy, loungers, if you ever meet the Rascalz, they're all great, but Dez is just like another level of just somebody who makes you feel so good about being a fan of wrestling. Nice. He truly is a great dude. I will say that till the cows come home. But all right, man. So we go from there, J-Bone. We go to Madison Rayne's in the back with Melissa Santos and kind of putting herself over a little bit. Tessa interrupts her, and she basically is targeting, the older knockout. She's basically saying she's old. She's an old knockout, and how about we get it on later. So Tessa's basically doing the generational targeting thing. I like it. I think it's kind of cool. I think, and tell me what you think about this, J-Bone. Do you think we need at least one more older knockout to kind of come back into this mix to really, because you got Madison and then you got Gail, but maybe one more would kind of really put that grind over what that Tessa's trying to do. And who would you pick if you had to pick one more to come back?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, you could pick a fun classic like ODB, but if you want something a little more serious, maybe go out on a limb. I don't know if Awesome Kong is. I know she's acting, but I don't know if she's still,
Yeah.
Because that would rank right up there. Because when you think of Gail Kim, you think of Awesome Kong.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Wait, was that her? Did I say that right? Was that her name? Awesome Kong?
Yeah.
I felt like I'm okay. No, I didn't want to screw that up with. What's that other guy that's been on Impact lately? Congo Kong?
Congo Kong, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I want to make sure I was not screwing that up because I've been known to do that in the past.
No, two Kongs in the Impact lexicon.
Not related, same last name. Wait, what?
No, not related for sure. But
at least I would assume. I really don't know, but okay.
But Kong would be cool. Kong would be really cool. The one that I thought of would have been Tara, Lisa Marie Varon, Victoria's, former Victoria as well. She's on a retirement tour. Why not one little stop on TV would have been nice, That'd been kind of cool.
And I'm praying that because they're making their debut in the 2300 arena in Philly, I'm hoping they keep heading west and head to the real Midwest and hit Chi-Town, maybe Milwaukee, either one of those.
I'll tell you what, speaking of that 2300 arena, I just booked my plane ticket to go out there for those tapings. Just booked it today. I got a steal. If anyone's looking to go, Frontier Airlines. I know it's one of the cheaper carriers, but you can get away with a backpack. It is a very, very good rate right now. So
nice. There you go.
Take a look. Yes, I'll be in first time at the ECW arena, man. That's a bucket list item for me to go there.
I've seen plenty of the House of Hardcore shows. I mean, I've seen some old school ECW too, but man, with Tommy Dreamer shows, those are some brutal crowds. That's going to be very interesting.
Going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to do that, man. I can't wait and go in there and take pictures of those banners, the old the Hall of Fame they got in there, and everything is going to be a lot of fun. So. Yeah. Psyched about it. Anybody's going, let me know. If you're going to be at those shows, let me know. I think Kyle's even thinking about driving down. He's only a couple hours away, so he might make it down for that. So
awesome. But you guys should do a show from there.
Yeah, it'd be nice. We met up at Bound for Glory last year in New York, but he was late. He missed the first match. So typical Kyle's late to the show. But so we couldn't do much, but got to meet the kid. Oh. Yeah. Good old Kyle. What a scumbag! I gotta put this out there, J-Bone. There was a lot of people who jumped on Team Scumbag Kyle last week, but in the comments, which I'm gonna get to the YouTube comments, guys. I know I fucked up and didn't open up with the YouTube comments, even though I got it queued up here. We'll get to them at the end of the show. We'll kind of talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit later at the end of the show.
We'll save the fan love for last.
Yeah, we'll do that there, and we'll kind of talk a little bit. I should have opened. I completely Kyle gave me that shit last time I had you on too. He said, did you read the YouTube comments? I go, no, man. Me and J-Bo just start talking. That's the problem. We just got to get into it,
You have me on, and I threw it all off. I apologize.
No, not at all. Not at all. We've never put it at the end, but that's my mistake. Unless, so we'll see. We'll get to those towards a little bit later here. But let's keep going with the review here, J-Bone. We jumped into Su Yung versus Rosemary. And here, is it just me or is it a little early for this match? It's a little too soon for this match, isn't it? I mean, Allie just died and we're giving this match away already. What do you think? I mean, am I nuts or is it just what do you think about this?
I think this is going to be a step-by-step process to something bigger. What exactly, I'm not sure, but Rosemary said last week that she wants to get revenge on Kiera Hogan, Su Yung, and her father. She blames several people for this mess that Allie got into. So I think this is going to be a step-by-step process, and she's got to deal with Sue Young, and then I think she's got other roads to travel throughout this whole morning deal with Allie. So this storyline, I mean, obviously Allie's not involved, but it still all has to do with her, which is, they're very interesting. It's not just cut and dried, okay, boom, gone, moving on to something else. No, they're keeping this going, and I think that's really fascinating.
Yeah. That's a good point. It's a good point. I mean, it's a build. It's a build. Now, am I crazy, or is Kevin Sullivan supposed to be Rosemary's father? I mean, is the devil her father?
That's what I'm really. It took some time into trying to pick apart some of the verbiage that they used at each other,
right?
Over the course of a couple weeks, because you don't just grasp it all in 1 week. It's like, wait, what was she saying at the grave? And then this past week they were saying other stuff. Yeah, it's interesting. She's really telling a story. You really got to pay attention to how she's saying it.
Right.
And I think you can kind of make up your own story in the process. But yeah, there is a method to her madness, so to speak.
Definitely. There's more to all this. And the key is going to be, like you said, paying attention to all of it and making sure you're aware of what's going on, because I think more elements are going to be opened and revealed here, man, as it goes on. So definitely be aware of your surroundings on this one, so to speak. But man, Sue Young's entrance is so cool. I love her entrance, man. I am a big fan of the Sue Young entrance. They need to do what they did every time, darken the arena. I mean, really play up her entrance. I think it's so vital to that character.
Yeah, I said the same thing on my show. I said that she, as far as legit characters that not necessarily scare you because, it's maybe it would scare little kids. But as far as actually creep you out, when she's wandering down to the stage and she gets in the camera and the brides are around her. I mean, she's the blood's dripping out of her mouth as she's getting in the ring. It's like, man, this bitch is terrifying. I mean, there are not a lot of characters
right
that have this much charisma and put this much into it. I mean, she is, as far as next to Rosemary, she's a real deal. She really is.
She's something else, man. She's so good at what she does. That's it. I mean, she's extremely good at what she does. You find yourself forgetting there's a person behind that. This is she's nuts, and I'm very impressed by her, and then the whole thing. I just want them to really produce her more, really make her a big deal, more and more. But this match kind of goes into a bit of a cluster. Kira comes out, the bridesmaids get involved, and initially the bell just rang without any context. And the guy said, the way he announced the winner, and as Sue, and I think it was a count out victory, but they didn't say what way was it based on interference? Was it count out? That bothered me that the ring announcer didn't have that little small attention to detail, but. Afterwards, Sue Young switches both Rosemary and Kira. So Sue comes out strong on this one. She came out nice and strong.
So, someone I saw mention, I don't remember if it was in my comments or if I saw it on social media, someone said that Kiera Hogan is starting to make the same mistakes that Allie did. And I was like,
ooh.
Oh, that's interesting. That's,
Good.
I mean, I don't think that's a precursor. But that is a big statement. It really is. So
I could see that playing into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. We got a little bit of a United We Stand recap after that, J-Bone, so I know we won't spend too much time on that, but if you guys want to hear the United We Stand recap that you and I did, where can they find that, J-Bone? Yeah, where can they find that? Why don't you plug that channel again one more time?
That's over on Smash This Podcast, and I believe I also put the audio up on Wrestle Addict Radio is where I put all my Impact audio reviews as well. So I got it on YouTube, and it's also on audio on Anchor FM, Spotify, iTunes along with the rest of the Wrestle Addict radio crew.
Awesome. I got to get on this Anchor. Is Anchor any good? Is it free?
Anchor's free, and as your channel grows, they slowly distribute your audio to several different audio formats. Like, I didn't even know we were on all these different formats because I just automatically go to Anchor FM and listen to the stuff that my crew puts out. But it's it goes over on iTunes, Spotify. I think it's on Google. Is it a Castbox? There's like a handful of them. I'm not sure of all of them, but there's several. Yeah, Anchor FM is great.
Gotcha.
And you can, if you're new to the website, they break it down for you. You can do it all right on the website too.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I got us all. We're on all those channels like iTunes, Spotify, and everything. But I did it all myself. It seems like Anchor would have been easier if I knew about that.
Anchor FM does so much work for you. It's nice. So like, okay, now I got to put it over here. Now I got to put it over here. Now I got to put it over here. No, put it on Anchor FM and boom, it's out everywhere.
Great. Cool, man. Yeah. Good to know. Anybody looking to start a podcast, check that out. Or Jay, why you start like a consultation fee for that, man? You should put that out there.
Yeah. What's also nice is there's also a sponsoring thing where you can start earning money through it somehow, some way. I'm not sure exactly how it all works, but there's that too. So
cool. There you go, guys. Quick little recap. Ace Austin gets in there, a little promo talking about his scramble from last week. Basically, he targets Aiden Prince. This guy, Aiden Prince, J-Bone, I guess he was local up there, and he was over.
He's been on a few times with Impact, especially when they're up around doing the whole Border City wrestling thing. I know he's on there. Yeah. I did an interview with another guy, Quicksilver, who's up there, and we talked about him just a little bit. But yeah, all those guys up there that the Impact, especially when they go up to Canada, they haven't signed a ton of them, but they signed a few like Ethan Page, Josh Alexander, and I'm hoping they sign a few more for the X division. That Aiden Prince is really something. I think he's starting to really grow.
He's good, man. I dig what I saw. He was so over when I was up there.
They love him up there. Yeah, he's one of the more, I wouldn't say veteran because he's still pretty young, I think. But yeah, he's very talented.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed watching him. I was pretty impressed with what I saw, and I am down for him to come back to Impact. That is that's a good talent, man, for sure. But yeah, Ace Austin looks like he's gonna have his first feud there, man. Aiden Prince, so that'd be nice. Get a little exposure for the new guy. Ace getting into something. Ace Austin, I noticed, J-Bone, is good on the mic. I mean, you don't really tend to think about it, but he's good on the mic, man. He got a good promo on Aiden Prince. I like that.
Yeah, and he kept it simple too, and that's all you got to do. It's like, okay, I don't like this guy. I'm gonna go kick his ass. What else do you need,
Exactly. We go from that backstage. This was a great segment. This was Willie Mack just chilling, and Killer Kross comes and sits next to him. Makes that great facial expression that he does, which the still shot of it floated around online. I've been laughing. It's so great, so good.
Hello, Willie.
Yeah. Hello, Willie. Do you like jazz music? I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? And it was Willie's facials were great. He basically was, what the hell? Yeah. He's basically manipulated. I mean, Killer Kross is a sociopath, as we know, and he's manipulating. He's basically saying Rich Swann is playing him for a fool. So he's basically trying to turn Willie on Rich. Yeah. So it's interesting though. Think about this. You got Sammy and OVE feuding with Rich Swann, and now you got Killer Kross messing with Rich Swann too. Willie Mack.
It's interesting that he's doing that. I don't know how much they're going to do with this because he's also tied with Johnny Impact.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is kind of a new direction, unless they're basically setting up Rich to feud with Willie, after the Sammy thing's done. You're set up, but what's Kross's stakes in that, right? What is his investment in doing that? That's what I couldn't figure out.
The best part of this whole thing, and I don't know if you caught it, I'm an old WCW fan,
Same.
I'm not going to call myself a scholar, but there was one line I picked out of this whole promo that I thought was just wonderful.
Oh, do tell.
And he said, "I'm not telling you anything you don't already know."
Arn Anderson, right?
And that is from the late, great Sean O'Hare.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, my bad.
Sean O'Hare.
Did you point that out on Twitter? Were you the one who pointed that out to him?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking. I thought it's something Arn Anderson once said, but you're right. Sean O'Hare. Yeah. And he gave you a shout out for that, right? He said, "Yeah, good catch" or something.
Cross did, yeah.
Yes.
That got shared a lot, so that made me feel good. But yeah, if you can look them up on YouTube. They did a whole string of Sean. Now, granted, this is when he was in the WWE, but I liked him when he was
WWE. Yeah,
because he was in that tag team with was it Palumbo?
Jindrak, Mark Jindrak, and then later with Palumbo.
That's it. And but yeah, those are the promos that he cut when he started doing the solo thing, and he was with Piper.
Yes.
And then the thing with Piper and the WWF at that time floozled out. He was never under contract. He was just in there for a handful of shows, and they couldn't come to an agreement. So when Piper left, Sean O'Hare stuff just kind of fizzled. It was such a shame. It
was so good.
Yeah.
And so ahead of its time. It was unreal. Anybody listening that doesn't know what we're talking about, go to YouTube and type in Sean O'Hare. It's Haire, I think. And just look up these promos. It was such I don't even know how to describe it. He wasn't a sociopath. Basically, he was like
it's like the devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate. That's right. That's what it was.
And the
basically,
black
like Killer Kross. Yeah. It was so good.
You look at the old Sean O'Hare vids, and you look at what Kross is doing now. And it's so easy to see. And now he cut this promo, and it's like, and he's mentioned before that he was a big Sean O'Hare fan. And then now the fact that he's been given the chance to, just squeeze a little bit of that into his own promo, it's just brilliant.
I think it's
so
phenomenal.
Good. It is.
Phenomenal that it gets to live on. I mean, a guy who took the influence like Kross did and gets to do it. But it's a sad story. And for anybody who doesn't know, Sean O'Hare passed away.
Yeah,
and never got to really little kind of some loose ends at the end of his life there, and it was a sad loss because he was a young guy, extremely talented, good-looking guy.
Loved Sean O'Hare.
I loved him.
I created him in all my games back then. That was the first guy I always made because I'm like, I'm gonna make Sean O'Hare champ. I don't give a shit.
The guy was a star. He was a star. Ready to pop, and it wasn't on the cards, man, unfortunately. But like I said, if you like Killer Kross, you'll like Sean O'Hare.
Hell yeah.
But we go from that. We kick it over. It's the Deaners. We got the Deaners coming, and they're drinking a beer.
Deaners got a lot of love in this show. They got a couple promos in.
They got two. Yeah, there's another one later on. I'm gonna throw at you guys, but Deaners got some love. I like it. I miss the old customized promos where you kind of. You put them in their element, the character's element. You know what I mean? And it gets you relatable. By the time they come out, you love them. Hey, I know these guys. So it's cool. I just love seeing Cody Deaner's a great dude. I love seeing Jake. Jake's a great dude. It's just I'm happy for both of them. That makes me happy. But next match, man, this was the one. This was the feature attraction for me.
There you go.
The North, Ethan Page taking on Josh Alexander taking on El Reverso and Sheldon Jean. I saw Sheldon Jean prior to these tapings. I saw him in Texas. We brought him in for AEW for the pre-show. And it wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't really pay too much of attention, but I knew I recognized the name. And
there you go.
That's what I had seen him once. But, man, what a match. Like we talked about at the top of the show, it was not a squash. It was competitive, and both teams came out looking good. Monster Mafia. I'm sorry, Monster Mafia. I'm thinking Monster Mafia.
Sorry.
The North. I used to call them the North. The North takes the win with this awesome finisher they do. Is this kind of seesaw swinging Death Valley driver from one guy to another finisher that they have. Great move. But man, everybody looked good. The losing team was competitive. They got to get their shit in, as people say, you know? And like we talked about, it's so important, right? I mean, it's to make everybody look good, it gives credibility.
And El Reverso lived up to his name. He was reversing some of their what looked like was going to be devastating moves and just finished the match, and it kept going. I was like, wow. Yeah, tremendous on Impact for giving these, you know, local kids a chance to shine. And, you know, it's, you know, it just made them, it put them over, and also made the fans, if you know them or if you liked what they did, it's like, hey, bring these kids back. Yeah, they lost, but sometimes when you lose, you also win, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, look, these kids' first time on TV. I mean, that's cool, man. That's how you get these. And look, if you watch old WWF or WCW from back in the day, you see some of the squash stuff, you'll see names you recognize. You know, you'll see guys like, you know, you watch in the late 80s, early 90s, you'll see Mick Foley, Jerry Lynn, you know, Rob Zakowski, a.k.a. Rob Van Dam, you know, or things. You see all these guys that you know, I mean, that turned out to be big stars down the line. I mean, a lot of ECW guys, you name it. Yeah. So the thing is, pay attention to the guys who get squashed. Pay attention to them because they come back. You know, a lot of these guys turn into something. So don't sleep on the rookies. We go backstage. J-Bone, Gail is pissed about Tessa. She's with Melissa Santos. Basically, just, you know, the ping pong on the Tessa Gail feud, and then we cut over to the North, and they're basically saying they're taking over the tag division. You know, that it was only a matter of notice. Put them on notice. Only a matter of time before these two got together in Impact. So here we are, man.
It makes me so happy. I love Ethan Page. I knew it was just going to be a matter of time.
Yes.
You know, I dug the comedy stuff they did with
Joseph Park and all that.
Yeah. The Parks
I like
Abyss.
it too.
I was going to say Abyss, but I couldn't think of the straight name that they were giving him when he was a lawyer. And that was a lot of fun. It was a great intro, but it's been, you know, some time has passed, and now he's really, and he was in neutral for a while, and now he's really going to be given a chance to shine with, you know, someone that he loves performing with. And, you know, sometimes when they do that, they just like put guys together and you don't know what's going on, or you never heard of them. It takes a while to get over, and sometimes it just doesn't work.
Right.
But I think these guys really look like they're going to click, and I can't wait to see more.
Yeah, these two are, I mean, they're legit best friends. So you're in for some good stuff. Keep an eye on these two. Real quick, Josh did a move, like a powerbomb backbreaker. Did you see that? Like right into his knee and the El Reverso.
Oh, devastating!
God, I was in pain watching that. Real quick too.
I'm waving my hands over here. Hell yeah. Ditto.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a Josh Alexander documentary they just put out too on Impact's YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. That's a cool piece of work.
It's really good.
Really, really well made.
It really is. You want to get to know Josh Alexander, and it's very well done.
He's one of the most decent wrestlers I've ever met. Decent human beings. He is such a good dude. I mean, I remember I picked him up at the airport once when he was wrestling AEW regularly before his neck, and real quick, I told the story before, but I had Josh Alexander in the front seat. I had Matt Riddle in the back. I had Phoenix in the back.
I love this story.
And I had Ray Orris, who's from Lucha Underground, in the back. I forgot who he wrestled as in Lucha Underground, but Ray Orris was back there. So I had these two luchadors, Matt Riddle and Josh Alexander in the car at the same time. And at one point, we're stuck in traffic on the south side of Chicago. It's a summer day. It's like July. Windows are down. And Riddle's just hanging his head out the window. And some dude pulls up next to us and just goes, "Hey, man, you want to buy some heroin?" And Riddle's just goes, "Holy shit, man! Isn't that fucking easy over here? What the fuck, man?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, God damn it! Do not buy heroin hanging out of my car, please." That's fucking crazy, bro. That is like, what the fuck? Like, he couldn't believe. And I was like, "Thank you guys. Please move on. No heroin in this car."
You're right.
Josh Alexander looks at me like, "Where the hell are we?"
I told him, yeah, because you mentioned that. I think it was about a month ago when I first guested on here, and I told, I was showing her some Matt Riddle stuff on NXT. I think it was during Takeover last week or two ago, whatever that was, right before Mania, and I told her about that story that you told. She was like, "Oh my god!"
My two favorite airport pickups are that one, and I picked up Matt Hardy one time, and we had a great Matt Hardy was during the peak of the broken gimmick, right?
Oh,
man,
it
was like Matt Hardy, and then Trevor Lee, and then Andrew Everett. And we're all in the car and we're talking. I got to tell this one real quick. Sidebar, J-Bone, just for the sake of the podcast. I got to tell this one real quick. You remember the whole broken thing, Ryan? Like talking like the whole, all the big, you had the Great War and the total nonstop deletion and all that stuff, right?
I met Matt right before that, so yeah, that is a great time.
The Apocalypto one, that big battle they had. I remember telling Matt Hardy, I said, "It'd be funny." I said, "If you guys," and I think there was God, who were they feuding with at the time? It was the Hardys. Blanking right now, but I said, if you guys, I think it might have been Decay, I can't recall. I said, it'd be funny. I think it was Trevor and Andrew, I think. And I said, it'd be funny if you guys stumble in to that Lake of Reincarnation thing he had and at on the whole compound and that storyline. I said, it'd be hilarious if you guys stumble into the Lake of Reincarnation and out like brawling, you guys fall in. And out come brawling the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express. And they come brawling out in your place. And I'm like, how hilarious would that be? And he looked at me and he goes, "That's actually hilarious." I go, right? And I said, think about it. You guys, God, I can't remember what the other team was. Loungers, if you can remember who the other team was. I don't think it was Trevor and Andrew. I can't recall. But leave a comment, please. But it'd be funny, right? You stumble into, and out comes these guys from the last generations past. Right. And I just saw the light bulb go off. A couple of weeks later, I'm watching Impact, and the Rock and Roll Express are in that storyline. Go figure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wasn't Morton stuck in the cherry picker or something?
Yes. You goddamn Matt Hardy, you broken son of a bitch, get me down. And I said, man, I have something to do with this. I mean, I'm taking some credit here for that one, And
you're just like, "You're welcome."
You're welcome. I love that. He was another cool guy too. Real guys. So let's jump in here. Madison Rayne, Tessa Blanchard, Gail Kim's on commentary, and Tessa's distracted by her the whole time. A lot of back and forth. And Madison earlier had alluded to Tessa. She said, "Look, I'm 2-0 against you," which I still think is a crime. But
it's very interesting.
I wonder what it is. I know Josh Matthews is her husband. I get it.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that in there. But, I mean, for the sake of the story, I mean, did we really need Madison being 2-0? And now 3-0 because she catches Tessa in an error and beats Tessa again. Now, this one, the whole thing is like, Tessa's distraction got the best of her.
It's linked to Gail, yeah.
Yeah. But it's still 3-0. It's like, come on, what are we doing to poor Tessa here, man?
Yeah. Well, Tessa can't win them all, and I think it's a great link in the story of, because I mean, in the long run, I think, and this is not a knock on Madison, I think the Madison component of this is going to be the forgettable part of it, but But yeah, the great part about this, if you pay attention to it, if you listen to, the match was decent. I think Madison's match, honestly, here was better than last week's.
Yes, it was a good match. It was a very good match. You're right.
Yeah, and I think that's also hats off to Tessa for that component as well. But if you listen to Gail, almost the whole time, she's putting over Tessa. She's not, and she's giving her constructive criticism. She's not like, oh, she's a bitch and I'm going to kick her ass. It would be real easy to do that. No, Gail put her over the entire time and gave her the biggest freaking compliment. Said she reminds me of a younger me. And I was like, oh, wow, that is something.
She even said it. She's like, I hate to admit it.
Yeah.
But she reminds me of a younger me. And in some ways she does. She really does. I mean, that's like no bullshit. I mean, especially during Gail's
hungry.
Especially during Gail's heel run, you know, I mean, she was like that. Tessa's way more intense than Gail ever was, but I can see it though. You know, she's a gutsy performer. You know, she's a no bullshit performer and very talented. That was Gail. Gail was an anomaly, man, at the time. So I could see that. I thought very good analysis there, Professor. That she really never. The only negative I think Gail said was she's being too distracted by me. She got to focus on her match.
Oh yeah, and that's why I said it's constructive criticism. She didn't say, you know, she never said just like, well, she sucks or whatever. Right. No, she said everything that was truthful, you know, because, you know, Tessa was very distracted through the whole thing. If Gail wasn't out there, she would have beat Madison Rayne, period.
No question.
You know?
100%. And I think you're right. They've made a good point about that. So cool. Good thing. So I hope Tessa gets her win back on Madison at some point. I think she being down that many is a little but like I said, it's in context. So
yeah, and Madison's a legendary knockout in this company. And she can't come back. I mean, I think she is back to help put over the younger talent, which is what she should be doing.
Yeah.
But she can't lose all the time. And this is a match where she could win, get the 3-0, which is a nice little notch in her belt against a solid up-and-comer like Tessa, but also to help contribute to this storyline with Gail Kim.
Right. Good point. Very good point on that, for sure. Cool. All right, as we go from that, we jump backstage, and it's the Lucha Brothers in the back, and Eli and Eddie are asking them for a title match. They're saying, hey, it's time. And then LAX bursts through. There's some bleeps. There's some profanity. LAX bursts through, start brawling with the Lucha Brothers, and I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you caught this, J-Bone. Eddie is looking to get involved, like and Eli is holding him back, and he's like, we don't need it. It's not our fight. Let them kill each other. We don't need it. We don't need it. And he drags him away.
Oh, that was, yeah. I caught one thing. He said something, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something to the effect of, you got the D and you got the E. And I was like, oh, that's Eli. I love it.
And man, knowing what we know, that's sad, right? I mean,
yeah.
This is going to be the first episode without Eli sound bites, I think. So hopefully, I mean, we'll see if he ever ends up... shit, man, it's just a bummer. I don't know what to make of. I say we keep Eli sound bites in the podcast until he's officially gone. You know, until the airings are done of the appearances.
I still fashion my intro after him. Say, this is J-Bone from Smash This Podcast. I always thought that was catchy as hell, and he started doing that kind of stuff when he was champ, and he was really putting over his shtick on a regular basis, and the dummy, yeah, and that caught on to me. I thought it was tremendous. I still do.
At a time where Impact needed guys with catchphrases to really market and brand, he was the guy.
Yeah.
He was the guy, man. So we got another Diener promo here, and it's Cody. He's like, we're going to plow over the competition. And then Jake plows over him and says, yeah. It's just a quick little thing. Like, don't forget, these guys are coming. You know, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
And I don't know what, dude, I got to ask you, man, and I don't know a lot about Cody. I don't know how much you know about Cody, but what the hell is a giver?
I don't know. I think it's a Canadian saying, man. From what I understand, it's like a Canadian slang.
Is that kind of like
like get her done? It's kind of like the get her done that we have.
That's what I said. That's what I said on my show. I think it might be similar to like the Larry the Cable Guy. Get her done. You know.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's like a thing up there. I guess it literally is like It's like the get her done to them.
So there's actually like redneck Canadians. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, look, Western Canada's pretty country, man.
Okay.
I just Googled it, and giver is mostly used by Canadians. It's a short form of give her shit, meaning kind of just give it, like bring it, almost in a way. So
okay. So it's like a fighting thing.
Yeah, it's basically it's the get her done. Like, go do it. Come on, get it done.
Oh, okay.
It's more like, but yeah, dude, Western Canada's pretty country, man. I mean, go north of Montana and all that stuff. That's the old west of Canada. So they got their own. But we go from that, man. So they're there. Johnny and Ty in the back with Melissa Santos. They're both wearing magic headbands that say "Champion of My Heart." Did you catch that?
No, I didn't catch
the headband that Johnny normally wears, it says Johnny on it. It's a "Champion of My Heart," and it had an arrow pointing.
Oh, jeez. That's beautiful.
He calls out the marks, which I thought was nice and bold. This was interesting. Taya starts playing on the relationship between Cage and Santos by basically implying that Cage and Jordan Grace are having a little bit of an affair. Did you catch that?
Oh yeah, that was good because they were like, oh yeah, Jordan Grace and Cage are probably meal prepping together. They're probably in the gym together and probably doing some hot, what did you say, hot cardio or something like that?
Yeah.
And it was, like and the look on Melissa's face was just priceless. Like, oh, you bitch.
So they're really going in with the relationship. They're kind of letting you know that these two have a relationship. And they're going public with it, which is interesting.
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah. I don't know how long it's going to take to actually do like what they're doing with Johnny and Taya, because that's legit. They're married, and it took them a long time to get to that point. When they came in the company, they were miles apart from each other.
Big time.
Yeah.
Santos just had knee surgery too. So even if Cage is main eventing and wins the belt, I mean, it's going to be. She's not there yet. I can't imagine she's going to be ready in 2 weeks. But who knows? Wrestlers force themselves back a lot sooner.
Oh, that's the knee surgery. Jeez Louise, that's horrible. My wife's been dealing with knee stuff, and I can't even imagine. That's crazy. She seemed like she's in such good health. Was it like I know she does a little wrestling. Do you know what it's from, or?
No, I think it's maybe just something from the little wrestling she does. Maybe something got worn out. She might have been an athlete before, in college or something, but nothing too major. Yeah, just a little knee surgery. But I mean, they were all giving her a shout online. So I'm wondering how bad it was. Really, now that you mention it.
Well, because she wasn't. I don't think she was doing it because I didn't catch most of the show live. I think Don Callis was doing the breaks on Twitch. I don't think Melissa was doing any of them.
Oh, she was. Okay, I didn't watch on Twitch this week, so I usually it's Melissa. But yeah, I like Don doing it too. So that's
Don's choice. I love Don.
Great at what he does.
Yes.
He's
a smart ass, but he's great.
Oh yeah, he's smart too. That's the thing. He's a sharp guy.
Yeah.
OV's in a big abandoned lot, and they're destroying stuff, and it's implied that that's Baltimore. And Sammy says he should have left Swan where he found him. But he basically says that he's not going to beat Swan because he hates him, but because he loves him. So it's classic heel. Heel. Tessa,
he's been saying that for a while. He's very consistent with his promos on him.
Sammy's great. The guy's consistent in promos in general. Like he's so damn good. Yeah. But we go from that, J-Bone. We go. Tessa's in the back. She's blaming Gail for her loss, and she calls Gail a fraud, and now it's personal. So more fuel on that feud, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
seeing how far it gets. We go to Falaba in the back, and he's lonely now, man. J-Bone, he's got no KM anymore. No more KM.
I'm gonna ask you, as long as we're talking about Fala now, Don Callis said something very interesting last week. I brought it up on my show, so I want to get your opinion on this.
We brought it up too. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
He said that he said Falaba lost 280 pounds of worthless weight.
Yes, I thought,
and I was like, damn.
Right. And I said, wait a minute. He's talking about KM. What? Like that's kind of fucked up.
That's that's the thing. That's not the first time he's done that. He's done that before. He's thrown little shots in, and I can't remember what it was, but he did that a couple months ago. He did that to someone, and I was like, ooh.
Is there heat? He's just ribbing him? Because KM came out and said, look, his body's just beat the shit, and he needs a break. That's what it is. He didn't resign. He needs a break. So is it that he's just beat the shit, or is there heat? You know, that's what I'm thinking now. Is there heat between you guys?
Did he say that to the crowd?
Twitter. He tweeted it yesterday.
Oh, see, I missed that. Okay.
He said, "Look, he said, I'm just you guys are reading too much into things. I just need to rest for the first time in 20 years. My knees hurt, my back hurts." But the reason it came out was because he thanked Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, and somebody else. He didn't thank, Scott and Don, Ed Nordholm. He didn't thank anybody. He didn't even tag Impact in it. He just thanked those guys. And somebody called him out. They're like, you're petty. You didn't thank Impact or any of the current guys. And he's like, I'm just trying to focus on the people I'm just mentioning the people who took a chance on me. That's all.
Well, and that's the thing that they're, who's in there now and who was in there 2 years ago when the company was completely different. With the whole Jeff Jarrett thing coming back, he brought in the GFW guys. There is such a change in the company over the last 2 years, like 3 different phases from where it is now. And there are not many guys left from that I don't know what the hell you call it. The GFW phase, Trevor Lee's gone. All those X Division guys are gone.
There's nobody left. Who's left?
Now, yeah, KM's gone, and now, I don't know how long KM and Falabao were in there, but now Eli Drake is gone, and he was like the last one, kind of,
It's truly a new company. It's truly a new company at this point.
It is. It's exciting, but it's also kind of sad because I liked a bunch of those guys.
Right.
But, that's wrestling. That happens in every single company.
Absolutely. Change is inevitable in wrestling. You got to roll with it. Yeah. Just got to roll with it because there'll be new guys for everybody who leaves,
Yeah. So you noticed that too about what they said about KM.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I mentioned on our pod last. I was like, Cal, you catch this? That's kind of odd. It's kind of an odd shot at KM, but I was thinking, maybe he's ribbing him, they're buddies or something. Who knows?
Callis is a little more of a color commentator anyways. So that's understandable. So it's
sure
it could be a little truth, a little bit of rib, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. We'll see if he keeps doing it. But Fowler's in the bag. He's just buying everywhere and he's looking for someone. A little cartoony music is playing, which I thought was funny. But Scarlett finds him, and you hear the music, the sax. And she's there, and she basically says, I'll be your tag team partner. And she slaps him on his big old butt and walks out. And he's very about the whole thing.
She's like, I'm not done with you yet. And I was like, oh my Lord. That's hot here.
No kidding. But that'll be next week. They're gonna start teaming up. So we'll see how that goes.
She gonna make that big boy sweat.
Oh yeah, she is. He's lost some weight too, though. In general, not just the shot that Don's. He has lost some weight and looking a little better, I gotta say. But all right, man. Main event time, J-Bone. Johnny and Taya, first couple of Impact here with titles, World Champion and Knockouts Champion, taking on Jordan Grace and Brian Cage. The married couple, J-Bone, they look like stars. What, like them or hate them, they look like stars.
They're doing it well. And they're doing the same thing they did, only a little different that they did in Lucha Underground. And it's for me personally, being a tremendous fan of Lucha Underground, I love it. I knew it was only going to be a matter of time, but I feel like all the pieces are coming together. They're doing it great. And I also love it that they did a little throwback on the entrance. I don't know if you noticed this.
No.
Johnny Impact swinging his ding-a-ling like it ain't no thing.
Are you serious? Oh shit!
He put the championship between his legs was a nice little throwback to what he did with the Eminem stuff back in the WWF. It was tremendous.
Really?
I loved it. Yeah. We had him and what was the other guy? Mercury.
Mercury, okay.
They
Joey,
put the
Joey Mercury, yeah.
Joey Mercury. They put the championships. They hung him from their belts, and they just let him swing around like it was like a big
flopping around.
Loved it. I was like, that's a nice little throwback. Tremendous.
Nice. Johnny's so much better as a heel, though. You know, am I crazy? Or he's as a babyface, he's way too cheesy. But I think as a heel, he's great.
He is. I mean, it's when he came into the company, he was so pasty faced white boy.
Yeah.
You know, baby face, and it just he's never been the tremendous at promos.
No,
but he
never.
he is
Never.
a better. He got better at it doing stuff like Lucha Underground, where he was actually acting and putting lines out there. As corny as some of the stuff was that he did as a heel in Lucha Underground, this is similar. It's very similar but different. It helped them, you know. So I think he is a really good heel, and it's a throwback, you know, to what he used to do the last handful of years. So I appreciate it. And maybe the younger fans are not going to get it. They'll be like, he sucks or whatever, just for
right.
For the sake of complaining about whatever.
Well, they have no
But
context.
I see
That's the
it.
problem,
I
yeah.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, man. Very good point. That's why you're the professor. But dude, Cage is such a G, man. This guy is unreal. Brian Cage blows me away every week. I mean, the stuff that he does should not be done by a man that size. Like,
He
what
is
he
tremendous. I worry though, because like this time he came down to the ring and he had that wrap around his leg, and he's had troubles with his legs in the past, and
Yeah.
I worry about him staying consistently healthy is what I worry about. But yes, he is so good. He
Problem
really
is he does that stuff on indies too. And it's like, you're gonna hurt yourself for your TV, and that's not cool, man.
Yeah, it's like, you know, maybe tone it back a little bit and go a little more crazy on TV. I don't know. It just he does so much for a guy his size that should have no business doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
His tope, what the hell does they call it? The no touch tope
Cone Hilo?
Cone Hilo. Hello, Hilo. Yes.
Hello. Hello.
He does
Hello.
Oh, don't get me started on that. I grew up on that shit too.
Good catch.
But yeah, Cage is just amazing, and you know, lands perfectly, and just wow, just I love Johnny as champ, but damn, give Cage that belt while he's still healthy.
You have to.
Seriously.
I mean, I'm predicting it for Rebellion, which, by the way, J-Bone, did I mention the Rebellion commercial? The official commercial of Rebellion's main event features a song by my band Hemi. It's called Decay.
Hell yeah, man! I'm so happy for you, man. It's a great tune. I listened to the EP. It's good shit, man. You guys got to go check out the YouTube channel. Go look it up. Hell yeah, man.
Thank you. I
Cheers to
appreciate
you
that.
on that.
I appreciate it. Actually, they put it back out today. So take a listen, guys. Decay by just type in Decay Hemi. It should pop up online or whatever, but take a look. Anyway, so yeah, we're really proud of that one. So yeah, we'll see where he wins it then, man. But this was interesting shenanigans here. Cage had Johnny up, I think, for the drill claw, and referee Johnny Bravo clips Brian's leg.
Oh, blatant.
Blatant. I mean, shades of Nick Patrick going on here, you know? And that was it, man. I mean, it was pretty obvious. So Johnny's aligned him. John E. Bravo has aligned himself with Johnny Impact and Ty Valkyrie. So nice little element coming on here. What do we do? And then Josh made a brilliant thing at the end of that. He says, "Wait a minute, Don. Now that I think about it, Johnny Bravo was the referee in all the big moments between these two since Homecoming." And he's like, he was referee at Homecoming. He was one who didn't get out in time and make the count. I'm like, holy shit. It has been this bastard the whole time. So it's that's it, man. Johnny Bravo. What a shady individual.
What a scumbag.
What a scumbag. There you go.
And I love it when he was trying to hug Taya, and Taya was like, "What the hell?" And then he wanted to hug Johnny, and Johnny's like,
yeah. Over there. Well, shook his hand.
pump the brakes, Johnny.
Great. It was great. But that's it, guys. That is the April 12th, 2019 edition of Impact Wrestling from Windsor. That was fun breaking it down. I had a good time with that. Great episode, J-Bone. Like I said, being there live was one thing, but seeing the produced finished product is another. I loved it. Good episode.
Oh yeah, because you notice things that the camera catches. Yeah,
right. Absolutely. So that was it, guys. That's the episode. We're gonna now. I know I went a little backwards here, but we haven't forgotten about you, J-Bone. I think it's time to get into the YouTube comments. What do you say?
Let's break it down.
Break it down. Here we go. All right. We're gonna make this. Gonna run through these here, guys. Let's see what here. Megedro says he's part of the scumbag army, so he's all in on Kyle. Eric DeHoff recommends that, hey, why don't you guys use Sandy Callahan or Don Callis quotes or sound bites in place of Eli ones? What do you think about that, J-Bo? I think that's a good one.
Yeah, and Eric DeHoff, courtesy of you guys having me on, now recently came over and subbed on my channel too. Pretty awesome.
Awesome dude. He's a great dude, man. Eric DeHoff is a great fan. So appreciate it. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Adam Davey, who's our buddy over here on the Impact Lounge of the Adam and Rose Show, which you can find every week on the Impact Lounge. He says anything from the Lethal and Flair woo-off for sound bites. That's that's a good one, man. So, I think was it Adam who made the comment that we didn't reply? Let's see. Oh, no, that wasn't him. I thought it was him. But Adam has also mentioned, guys, that he's interviewing Cody Deaner for the Impact Lounge channel next week. Actually, this week coming up. So if you got any questions for him, check out the Adam and Roe show. Roe is R-O. And leave him some word if you have anything for Cody Deaner.
Good to know.
Yeah. Keem Fullerton asks about United We Stand having a problem with audio. Did we hear about this? I thought it was funny the way he worded it. He's like, I heard United We Stand had some audio problems. Did you guys hear about this? I'm like, is he being funny? Is he being funny about this? But Keem Fullerton, if you want to hear a J-Bone and I thought about it, we did a review on it. So definitely check that out. It's out there. To Smash This Podcast on YouTube. Take a look. And all the RSS feeds.
I think some people are making a bigger deal out of it. I mean, yeah, it is unfortunate that there were a couple little glitches during the show where it went super quiet and then got loud again and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, I think people are just, I think today, I don't know what it is. Today's social media, today's generation, they love picking out the negative things and they completely blow them up. It's unnecessary. It really is. I'm not saying it's not a thing. Okay, it is a thing and it does distract. I get it. But it doesn't have to be focused on, No,
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Don't let a few glitches in the first part of the show or whatever it went on. I think it was like the first part of the show when they were just getting started, the first match or two. Don't let it wreck the rest of the show for you, for crying out loud. You don't have to blow it up and be like, oh, it's your garbage backyard wrestling. No, it's not. It happens. It happens with anyone, for crying out loud. Hell, I'm watching Raw on USA. Can't tell you how many times I'm watching it on USA and Raw or SmackDown or whatever. All of a sudden is all glitchy with their sound and production.
Yeah.
Really?
I think, and the big thing was, J-Bone, that they didn't mic the crowd, and that took away from it a little bit.
Yeah, because that was a sold out crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would have been nice to feel that full effect of that crowd, but they didn't mic the crowd enough. But man, listen, live and learn. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
That
is something that they are certainly learning from with every live experience that they do.
Yes.
You got to remember this, folks. This is a company that back when they had, and I've mentioned this before with you, so you know what I'm talking about. This is a company that back when they had guys like Kurt Angle in his prime in the company could not sell tickets. They had to go back to Universal because they couldn't sell tickets on the road, to fill these little gymnasiums where they were going to try to go out on the road. This is a company that has completely turned that out around 10 plus years later. They are going to places. They are selling out these newer crowds, going to newer locations. People are buying tickets for these shows, and people need to remember that. That is so damn important.
That's very important. Very, very crucial. Good point, man. Great point. That's why you're the professor.
Cracking my stick, kids. Pay attention.
Pay attention. Professors in the classes in session. Daniel Torgrimson says, this is the best episode of Impact in quite some time. The six-pack X Division match was awesome. Do you guys think that Moose, Ethan Page, and Alexander could face the Rascalz at Rebellion? I think it's going to be Moose. I'm going Moose. That's my. Then we talked about it earlier. I definitely feel like Moose is going to be the one to square up against the Rascalz. I can see a 3-on-1 for shits and giggles. That'd be fun.
It could be. It could be an ego thing for Moose to be like, all right, I beat you all individually. I'm not trying to throw out any spoilers out there. It's a guess. But if he beats them all individually and says, I could take you all on at once, and it turns into a 3-on-1 at Rebellion, that would make sense.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. What else we got? Doctrine of Mayhem. Listening to this while making beef jerky. That's the life I lead. I guess at the
okay.
I guess at the end of the day, I'm a real company guy. Was one of the many people who wanted Eli to stay with Impact, but now that he's gone, I don't feel any anger or sadness. He's replaceable. The same goes for Abyss, Sanjay, and Borash. Many thought that Eli wouldn't fit in the new era, and his shit talking came just at the right time to terminate his deal. Let's face it, not renewing contracts and wrestlers fulfilling their deals till the end is nothing new. Impact hasn't terminated anyone in a long time, and maybe this is all just a work. Who knows? Again, he brought some good points, man. Who knows?
Yeah,
who really knows?
This is a company that is still a little fragile, I think. It's not a knock on Impact, but they're still trying to come out of that, they're trying to get it, dust off the negative TNA stuff and the Global Force Wrestling stuff from the last few years.
Yes.
And they really gotta stay positive, stay growing. And when you come across some negativity and it starts gaining momentum, like the stuff with Eli Drake's social media stuff, he could have just said something once and explained why he didn't do the match and then shut his mouth. But it kept going. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about all the stuff he put out there because I don't know. I didn't read it. All I know is that he put a lot of stuff out there. There was also something about his contract that he let out that he shouldn't have because some of that stuff shouldn't get out. Right. So I think there was that too. So, yeah, I mean, he talked a little too much about certain things that he shouldn't have, and I think it was a learning lesson for he and the company. So, okay, so then you got to, you got to let him go, unfortunately. And that's not to say that he's not talented.
Absolutely.
He is. I want to see him thrive in other places. Maybe AEW, maybe Ring of Honor. I have no idea. But some other place is going to snatch him up.
Sky's the limit, man. Sky's the limit with him.
Yeah,
but let's check out a few more here. AK Infinity says, he asks us, after Brian Cage, who is the next babyface you guys see as championship material? I personally think it's going to be Kross to take it off of Cage eventually, but babyface-wise, it's a good question. I think you got a lot of guys tied up in tag teams. I think they're going to put Eddie Edwards out there first. As the first opponent, as the first next babyface, even though he's had it, I think Eddie's a good, reliable hand, and they'll put Eddie back into the mix first. What do you think?
I think it's Cage. Cage is gonna. I think really he's. He's a bit of a tweener, but I think he's more of a babyface than anything.
Well, they're asking after Cage. That's what he said.
Oh, after. Okay.
Yeah, who's the next babyface you got in mind?
Ooh. Yeah,
that's a little tricky. You got a lot of heels. They got a lot of tag teams.
A lot of heels, a lot of tweeners. and ever evolving. I don't want to say revolving, because that sounds a little negative. Evolving roster of Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one. Yeah, I want to see Kross be champ. I want to see Moose as champ, and Kross has the potential to be. I mean, he is a great heel. I think he also has the potential to be a great baby face as well, but more kind of like Stone Cold was, always riding that fine line.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so hard to say.
That's true. It is a little tricky to say. So, well, let's wait it out. Let's see. Let's not overanalyze. Let's see where they go.
Yeah,
go a lot of ways.
I know RVD wants some gold too, so
That's
you never
right.
know. Yeah, he's got some veteran pull. Don't be surprised, folks. Love him or hate him, he's a big name.
That's true.
Yeah.
Jamie Wisner says you guys can use Don Callis sound bites. He's right. He's very right. Let's see here. What else? Kirkle Sting says, better chill, Trent. We all know Sammy won't hesitate to use that battery. He might call up OI4K. Not OVE, but OI4K, which stands for Ohio is for Killers.
Oh.
Yeah, Sammy had a run-in on the podcast last week. He ran in here and he
went a little nuts.
He what?
He went a little nuts.
He went a little nuts, son of a bitch. It was a little wild, but
do I need to look over my shoulder? Am I okay in here?
I think it's okay. I think you're okay this week.
Right.
McGedro says, hey, Trent, don't even try it. I was the first guy to call out Ethan Page in his top promo quality. You're right. You sure were, man. You definitely called it first. I knew he had good promo quality. I just felt like he was stifled. But you definitely called it first. I'll give you that, McGedro.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what else we got here? Let's see. Hakeem Fordson says, I was generally wondering if Kyle was going to be pissed following my comments last week in the review when I mentioned that he would have to become a vegan due to his bet, due to the bet that Kyle made about Austin Aries not showing up to the Vegas tapings. Because Kyle said if he doesn't show up, I'll turn vegan. Well, he never showed up, so I guess Kyle's a vegan now. He's not here. We can't hold him accountable, but that bastard made a promise.
Something.
And Hakeem Fordson's not letting him live it down, so I think he's going to be a vegan. So, couple more, J-Bone. We'll do a few more. We got quite a few guys. You guys are the best, man. All these comments. Kyle and I literally text each other. The video will go up, and we'll be like, all right, we'll check in an hour, and we'll see all the comments. And he's like, get in there. Start replying. I mean, we just love it. We love the interactions on this. So, J-Bone,
you guys have a great following over here. You really do. They really love you guys. That's awesome.
My favorite part, though, J-Mo, is I love interacting with all these guys. We have some really good regulars, I mean, okay, I'm going to put it this way. It was last week's show went up super late. I'm talking like a day before the next episode of Impact, the one we just reviewed. And our play count was nuts. And I was like, that many people believe and look forward to Kyle and I and this show's review, whether it's you and I, the show itself, weekly, that even though it was super late, they still came out and had to jump in on it. That was very humbling, man. You guys are the best.
Yeah, they love you guys. They wait, and it's awesome.
I appreciate it. I really do. Let's see here. Richard Cartledge says, great show as always. Thank you, Trent, and especially Kyle. You did pronounce it right. He's talking about his name. Kyle finally got his name right. I am going to miss Eli if he's gone, but if we're looking for a top face, I can see Josh Alexander as a possibility. I think it's inevitable that it'll be Josh. Right now, it's just the tag team is too important for a little bit. What do you think?
I'd say give it a year or two, because I really want to see. I mean, I love the tag team division in this brand. They've always, even back when a couple of years ago, when it seemed like there was only a couple tag teams on this show and it was all OVE and LAX. Yeah. And that's all they had. Everything else was single stuff when they were really changing, formats, and it was a rough time, but they still were putting out tremendous talent. And now they really have a good amount of tag teams. So I want to see what this tag team. It's another new phase of this company. You see a lot of new faces over the course of this last season. So yeah, very exciting time for this to see where this goes over the course of the next year.
Big time, big time. I'll give it to you. Kyle asked last week, guys, for a shout out. Who can guess what movie is at the beginning? Is the beginning of the intro from last week's show? The only person who got it right was Adam Davey of the Adam and Rose Show, our brothers over here on the Impact Lounge, and he says Wayne's World, Party on Garth. He's right. Adam, you're right. It's Wayne's World.
There you go.
What else we got? I'll do a couple more here. Let's see. HSG Sabu says, as much as I love hearing Kyle munch on disgusting processed, quote-unquote, meat snacks into the microphone, you shouldn't bring on snacks unless you have enough to share with all of us, Mr. Kyle. I agree. Pastor hasn't shared anything with me.
Professor says you got to share with the class, damn it.
Come on, Professor. I know you're a beef jerky guy. I know you are. Let's see here.
I'm more a snap into a Slim Jim guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Snap into it, yeah. That cool. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Cannot beat it. All right, man. Let's see. Whoopsie. I'm going to end it with Whoopsie here. And I'll do one Whoopsie. I got one more to end it off with today because we got a lot going on. Whoopsie says, I'm not Team Trent when it comes to Eli being at work. I think he is gone, but it doesn't add up for me. If Impact got their feelings hurt, they let others get away with way worse than Eli supposedly did. By terminating contracts is nothing new in wrestling. Every company will have disgruntled wrestlers, and people thinking AEW will be any different will be in for a surprise. Totally right. Whoopsie's always coming in with that knowledge. I think this is just shocking, and there's more to it, and we'll find out in time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Excuse me. I'm sure Eli's going to come out with some interview and reveal all the dirt. He seems like not a super mega cocky guy, but confident enough that he can back up what he's talking about, and that not necessarily that he's always right, but that he's right enough to put stuff out there. So we'll see what happens over the next few months leading into the summer. I know we're going to see him again because I know he's talented enough, and I don't think he's brought enough shade on his own name like others from this area have, and I know you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's pretty radio silent, as opposed to the other guy. So he's been pretty radio silent.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. We'll see what where he ends up. It might be AEW for all we know. Who knows?
No.
But what else we got here? I think I'm going to end it off here, J-Bone. We're going to tap it out. Let's see. I'm picking. I have one in mind. I just want to double check everything. We got quite a bit, guys. Thank you again. Please keep these coming. If there's anybody we missed, we'll get you next week. But I'm going to end it with Mir Neeson. And our buddy Mir Neeson over here says, scumbag of the week is the fan who attacked Bret Hart at the Hall of Fame. Damn right. Not Impact related, but goddamn, what a scumbag. What a scumbag.
Yeah. What a scumbag.
What a scumbag.
I agree.
There we go. But that, guys, that is it. That is the April 12th, 2019 edition of Impact Wrestling and your comments. So, guys, thanks for joining us. J-Bone, these people, I'm sure they love you. They loved you last we'll love you even more. We'll get some plugs out of the way, J-Bone. Where can they find you? Plug it all. This is your shot.
Twitter is jbone5150, JAYBONE, J-Bone. Yeah, that's me. And I'm over on Facebook as well. You can look up Smash This Podcast and also on a new Instagram. And I'm not on there probably as often as I should, but what's interesting about Instagram is you get the weirdest follows on there. I get the dumbest troll messages from, catfish shit. Hi, hey, come over here, look at me. It's like, get the hell out of here.
Like garbage, yeah.
And then I also get follows from bands, and it's like I love listening to new music. I'll always at least give a band a listen and check out a few songs before I judge them. Like, hey, these guys are kind of cool. I'll check them out, keep them in mind. But I get followed by so many bands, it's crazy.
I'll tell you what, as a guy in a band on Instagram, it is something you do. You just kind of try to find active users and you follow them. So hopefully they follow you back. It really is what it is. So you're trying to get that guy to follow you back is what it is, man.
I think the coolest one I ever got followed by was from, what is the hell's name? From Ashes on the New or whatever it's called.
Days of the New?
No, not Days in the New. Ashes of the New. It's they kind of sound like Linkin Park, and they had a song that they did for WWE within the last couple of years. I think part of NXT or something. And
No idea.
yeah, if you like Linkin Park, you'll like these guys. It's little bit of hip hop in their metal, a little bit of screamo, a little bit of singing. It's
Cool.
it's like the next generation of Linkin Park, which is very catchy, especially with the loss now unfortunately of Chester Bennington. Yeah,
Gotcha. Anywhere else they can
I
find it?
gotta look it up.
Okay. Take a look. How about anywhere else they can find it? Is that it? Any other plugs? Any other way to get to the podcast?
YouTube is Smash This Podcast. Just look that up on YouTube. I know you're gonna find it. And then I'm also I do some stuff for wrestling with wrestling.com. I throw some MLW reviews over there along with some other content, and I really slacked on that during WrestleMania week, so I need to catch up on that. I'll be back on there soon. It's a great site, tons of different content from all over the world, literally all over the world. German stuff on there recently.
Cool.
And my audio stuff for Impact Wrestling specifically is over on Wrestle Addict Radio. You can find that on Anchor FM, Spotify, iTunes. Wrestle Addict Radio, great team of guys, me and like 5 other podcasts. And what's great is we all bring something very different to the podcast scene. None of us are like the same, so it's very nice.
Awesome, man. Very cool. Very cool.
Sometimes I feel like the bastard child bringing in Impact Wrestling because the other guys are kind of like, Impact Wrestling, and I'm like, yeah, give it a chance,
Absolutely.
I love talking about different stuff. I mean, I've gotten a little bit back into WWE lately. I'm giving it a chance because the company's always changing. But I love what Impact is doing right now. It's my favorite thing right now. It's a growing company, evolving roster. It's tremendous.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. That's the magic of it. There's a lot of names on there, so why not watch them on this platform? They're doing great by them. So
yeah,
cool, man. Very good. That's is that anything else? You're on a lot of places. Anywhere else you want to plug?
No, that's about it. Just I really
All right.
appreciate you bringing me on again. I love chatting it up with you, as they say here.
Yep.
On the social medias and on here on your podcast, with or without Kyle. I miss Kyle. Kyle was great. Last time I was on here, whether it be a threesome or a twosome or whatever you want to call it.
What a scumbag! No, listen, we're glad to have you. So listen, let's keep doing it. I'd love to do it as much as possible.
Oh yeah,
so,
man. Yeah.
Thanks, man. So,
whenever you want to be a permanent part of the show or just on as a guest once in a while, whatever you guys want, I'm here for you. I love the show.
We appreciate it, man. Definitely on behalf of Kyle, we appreciate that. On behalf of him and myself. All right, guys, you can connect with me personally at Vanilla Joke on Instagram and Twitter. Find me, look me up. Let me know how we did. You can find this podcast on social media by typing in We Talk Impact into the search bar at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just type in We Talk Impact, or you can search Total Nonstop Impact. It'll come right up. Connect with us. Let us know how we did. Make posts, make comments, share our posts. Let us know how we did. You can find this podcast wherever podcasts are found: Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, and YouTube on the Impact Lounge channel. Please, guys, do me a favor. Go into wherever you listen and rate, review, and subscribe. Please. We need all the ratings we can get. The higher the rating is, the more we get shown in amongst wrestling podcasts and more visibility and ears we get. So, guys, please take 2 seconds. Open up your podcast app, give it a 5 rating, and move on. And maybe hit the subscribe button too. So, guys, that is going to do it for us. J-Bone, am I forgetting anything?
No, I think you covered it all, brother.
All right, man. Sounds good, guys. Again, we'll be back in here with you next week. That'll be also from Windsor. We're on the road to Impact's Rebellion pay-per-view. Take a listen to my song Decay by Hemi. It's on the ad for Johnny versus Brian. It's on their social media. Like, share it. Please get on there. Let them know you want more Hemi to be a part of Impact Wrestling. I talked to the producer, Kevin Sullivan, today. You can tag him. I let him know. I said, my whole catalog is yours at your disposal. Use whatever you want. Tell me what more, Hemi.
Nice.
All right, guys. Please. Yeah, hook us up. We got bills. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, J-Bone. Thank you again. We will do this again soon. If
Cheers.
you guys need anything, get a hold of us. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.